Alright guys, today we're gonna look at installing mods for Arma 3 because recently I've gone through and sorted out some of my Steam games, so I need to redo them myself, and I thought why not make a video because it'll help you guys, because I know how hard it is to do it, like to begin with. It took me a good while to get my head wrapped around it, so it's not all bad, you'll get used to it. So here we have a list of add-ons that I'm gonna download and install. I've already downloaded them, but we'll show you how to do it anyway, just in case. So you open up Armaholic and find an add-on that you want. For this example, it'll be CBA. So you'll see it, it'll give you like a little picture maybe, title, who it's by, description, features, installation. Now, you could follow this, but essentially that's what I'm going to tell you anyway, and yeah, it's probably easier to see it happening rather than do it yourself and maybe mess things up. So it'll tell you what's in there, if you can find documentation, issues, whatever, all this stuff you can read. What you want at the bottom are the download from FTP links. It'll also tell you how big it is and how many times it's been downloaded. So you want to hit that. I've already downloaded it, but I click it anyway and it'll pop into your browser as a download. So you want to do that for every single add-on you want. And when that's done, you should have a folder with your add-ons in like this. Now these are all the ones from that page before, aside from the All-in Arma Terrain pack, because there's like 6 gigabytes and it's fucking absurd to do in a video. So yeah. What you also want to do is you want to make a folder for the mods after you've extracted them. It'll make things a little bit easier. So what you want to do is you want to open things up with 7-zip or whatever zip archiver thing you have. And you want to open archive. I wish it wasn't like super big. So you want to do that and you'll have this. It'll have your add-ons folder inside and the keys folder. These are both kind of important. Well, obviously the add-ons is, but the keys, you'll have to move that later on, but I'll show you how to do that. And pretty much all these add-ons will have that. So you just want to go through, open every one of them, and it decided to open behind. Some of them have readmes in, nothing really important. Well, obviously it might be, but if you know what you're doing, not really. So here it's got the keys outside of the folder, that's how they should be, but we'll get to that in a second. So just go back through, extract them all out. This might take a while, but it'll be good when you're done. Now some of them, like this one, I know, the Atmas, it'll put every single add-on from this guy in the same one. So what you might want to do is rename the Atmas folder to whatever this is, just in case you want to disable like separate parts of the add-on itself. You just Atmas, African conflict, whatever. Just so it's easier to differentiate later on. But obviously you don't have to do that, but it helps. And yep. So some of them might not have a thing in there, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that every folder you extract here that isn't keys or user config has an @ symbol at the start. If it doesn't, like this one, just click in, see if it has it, and then you're good. Okay, cool. When you've done that, you'll have a folder that looks similar to this. Not the same, obviously, because you might have different add-ons, mods, whatever you want to call them. So, what you want to do now is open a new window with your keys folder. This way, you can check in here. You can also delete this Armaholic stuff, it's not particularly needed. But you want to go in here, make sure you get all of these keys out from the other ones. Because these are what, if you do jump into a server that has these add-ons enabled, you need the keys to actually make it recognize them, or something like that anyway. So you do all those. The optional stuff isn't really necessary, I don't think. So I believe the MAS are all the same BI key. Yeah, they are. So we won't mess with those. Okay, so because we've got an optional config here, you want to go to ASDGJR. You want to put the PBO in here, and also the BI sign, because those are like, it'll make the weapon pack work with the other add-on, which is always nice when it does that. Okay, so now we're done. You'll have a folder that does look like this. These have all been sorted, optional files moved into where they should be, and the keys in the keys folder. So then what you want to do is you want to go to your Arma 3 game directory. It'll look similar to this, probably the same, I'm not entirely sure. Then what you want to do, no, we don't want to move that to the recycle bin, cool. So what you want to do now is you want to highlight everything from this Arma 3 mods folder and drag it over into your Arma 3 game folder. Make sure it goes into the root and not into one of the other folders. Some people put them into the add-ons folder, but that's wrong. If it wants you to overwrite things, then you can do that, that's not a problem. So, now you're done, it'll look like this, and that's good. But yeah, like I was saying, some people put the folders into the add-ons folder. Now, as the folders themselves, they won't work, but you could, for example, go into the add-on folder here, go into the add-ons folder there, and you could drag these into the add-ons thing. But that's not recommended, because if you do it that way, you can't enable or disable add-ons if you don't want them on, or if you join in a server, it will give you a bunch of errors. So don't do that, do it this way, things will be nice and tidy. So the next thing we want to do is we want to jump into the game. Alright, so now you're in the game and you want to activate the mods. How you do this is you go to configure, then expansions. Here you'll have the current Arma 3 stuff that's active with the V symbol. Then under that you'll have a list of all the add-ons you've just put into the folder. They'll all have just black circles, so what you want to do is you want to go onto each one, click enable. That will give it a green tick and move it to the top of the list. You'll do this for every single one of these. Doesn't really matter what order you do them in, just do them from top to bottom, I guess. Okay, so now that's done, everything's got a tick in it, you can click OK. It'll tell you to restart, so we'll do that. And we're back. Now you will notice that we have these icons here. They'll have a little text box, some of them will. It doesn't really matter if they don't, but these will show you the add-ons are enabled. To test them out, let's jump into Virtual Arsenal. So here, you can try all the new stuff. So as you'll notice to begin with, this isn't default armor equipment. So you can hit random and it'll cycle randomly through all the different things that we have added. See a lot of new weapons and camouflage, and this is just like a smidgen of what has just been added to the game. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that we just put in. Got a lot of bolt snipers, LMGs, AKs. It's all really cool stuff, and you can try it out. It all works. Even has a silencer. So yeah, that is how you can put new stuff into the game.